your gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am ZAHNELA CLAXTON from the Department of Education, and we're here with you on Saturdays to share information, updates, activities, anything that can further develop or support our students, our young people here on Nevis. And we know that our first week of term 2 has passed. It was a whirlwind of a week, and there were many things happening this week, but most of all our students were transitioning back to regular programming. They were not able to sleep in late and the usual things that they've been doing for the Christmas break, and so they were readjusting this week, and we want to continue to wish them a safe and successful term 2. We know that term 2 has many activities. There are many activities happening, predominantly in relation to sports, outside of their regular daily schedules. That we know that we have many track and field activities happening as well, and then there are some other activities. We have Black History Month coming shortly, and so we want to encourage you parents and encourage our students to have a successful term and to remain focused. We have a few announcements of things to come and activities and updates, so to share those out, as well as I said, to give a quick recap of last week's activity. So yesterday, the first week ended actually with a quiz, the NCCU SJCIC quiz, which was postponed from last year. It was a 50th anniversary activity. The Nevis Cooperative Credit Union celebrated their 50th anniversary last year, and so this was part of the 50th anniversary calendar, and it was postponed to early this year. So we had it yesterday, and we were happy to see six schools were represented, and I want to this morning commend the schools and commend the students who represented their schools. We know that the students are not able to participate in these activities without the hard work behind the scenes that we may not ever see of their teachers and their principals and the teachers at the schools and the parents who make sure that they are putting measures in place to be prepared for the activity. And so we had representing the Charlestown Primary School, and each school had 3 representatives. 2 were on stage and 1 served as a standby. And so we had On stage for Charlestown Primary, Mahira Hanley and Zoria Chapman, and Lakshmi Prasad was the student on standby. We also had for the St. Thomas's Primary School, Mekai Hamilton and Delijah Clark, and Aria Liebert served as the standby. For the St. James Primary School, we had Alandria Huggins and Tasia Mills, and Isaiah Hendrickson served as the standby. We had from the Joyston Liebert Primary School, Azarius Hendrickson and Devondre Archibald and Donovan Liebert. We also from the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School had Kyan Blake and Saeem Pemberton, with Cleston Bartlett being the standby. And then from the Ivor Walters Primary School, we had Tevon Watley and Tanelia Brown, and then we had Zaire Jeffers as the standby. So we commend all of the students who, as I said, worked assiduously. We are proud of you. This was a fun, and listeners, we haven't had quizzes, we haven't had public activities such as these for over 2 years, and so it was a transitional activity as well, and the entire competition took the form of a collaborative competition, so they were able to work as a team from beginning to end, providing that support, and so those adjustments were made in light of the fact that they were transitioning into a new space. These children have not probably ever even seen a quiz. They've probably never been to a quiz, because when quizzes were popular and we had those happening, they were in the early primary school years, and so this, as I said, would have been a new experience. Usually in the past, you know, that our students would be able to go to quizzes and watch over the years, so they get an idea of what it looks like. These children did not have those activities, and our children now have missed out on our primary schoolers and some of our secondary schoolers. They've missed out on many activities that were normal to us, and so we're trying to reintegrate them. We're trying to give them the opportunity to be exposed to these types of activities, and we are grateful for this chance to do so. So congratulations to all of the students, as I just said. And so the winners for the competition, we had in third place the Charlestown Primary School. We had in second place the Ivor Walters Primary School, and in first place we had the St. Thomas's Primary School. So commendations to the students who were able to place, or the schools which placed in the top 3 for the competition. We look forward to many great things coming from you, and I'm happy that our first major activity this year, this calendar year, was an academic-based activity, because we want to ensure that the public understands that term 2 is a term where we are still striving, as we do every term, for a balance between the academic activities and the extracurricular activities, all of which contribute towards the holistic development of our students. So children and teachers of the schools which were able to place in the top 3, so special congratulations to you for being able to do so. And if I may add, in terms of congratulations and commendations, I want to say that the NCCU gave each of the winning schools a cash prize, which was a surprise component during the prize giving portion yesterday, and they also gave each participating school a cash prize, so the schools were able to walk away with that surprise component. They worked hard. They didn't go in because they knew that they would get money, but they walked away with some money, and those are the things that I think warm my heart as well. They did it because they wanted to give the children the exposure and the opportunity, and they were able to walk away with some benefits that they didn't anticipate. So thank you to all partners, to the team at the Department of Education who worked to make sure that the quiz was a success, to the St. John's Community Improvement Club, and SJCIC has been hosting this for, I think, over 3 decades, with a hiatus prior to now. I think they've had a 4 or 5 year hiatus, and the NCCU has been sponsoring this quiz as well for several decades. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
It's sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am ZAHNELA CLAXTON from the Department of Education, and we're here with you to share so many things, opportunities, activities, and we know it's an action-packed term, an action-packed 2023. It's already poised to be an action-packed 2023 with many successes, many opportunities for our students and for the general public. So we spent the first quarter commending and congratulating our students who participated in the quiz yesterday, and a sneak peek, we have a few more academic related activities coming up very shortly in February and in March and in May. We have some big activities coming up that we're looking forward to sharing with you in short order, but we also know that here we try to make sure that our students are aware of the scholarship opportunities that are available to them. We know, and we have been reiterating each week, that the UVI Scholarship 2023 and the NIA Financial Assistance 2023 are both open, and so the Ministry of Human Resources is pleased to inform you that we are accepting applications for persons wishing to pursue higher education and are interested in receiving financial assistance from the Nevis Island Administration. An individual may apply for financial assistance whether or not the individual is employed by the NIA. Interested persons must adhere to the following guidelines for applications to be considered, and you realize that it says you must adhere. So if you don't adhere, your application cannot be considered. So listeners, please make sure that you pay close attention to the guidelines. A cover letter addressed to Mr. Edson Elliott, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Human Resources, requesting financial assistance. The letter should also state the course of study, why you wish to undergo the specified field of education, and how will such training influence your professional development. How will your professional development contribute to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the commencement date and expected duration of studies. An original university acceptance letter. University applicants who have not yet received an acceptance letter are encouraged to still apply for the assistance, providing that there is some evidence that the university has received your application. Listeners, you know that usually you get a confirmation or receipt or acknowledgement email, so that would suffice. Also, a breakdown of the course fees from the respective university, a completed financial assistance application form, birth certificate or certificate of citizenship, and it must be an by birth or citizenship. Kindly note that financial aid awardees will be required to fulfill bonding obligations with NIA, and there is an application form. You can reach out to Mrs. Jones Liebert, Mrs. Shelley Jones Liebert, or Mrs. Shanola Murray-Gill, and they would be able to assist you in ensuring that you get the documents that you need, and you complete those and you submit them, and you should be well on your way. It might sound far, but the deadline is Friday, March 31st, 2023. It's much closer than you think. It's literally tomorrow. And so get your running shoes on, get over there at the Ministry of Human Resources, get your financial assistance application form. We have some sixth formers who are looking at the potential or possibility of going to college next year. Make sure that you get that. If you've already started your processes, make sure you get it done so that you can get that application form in. Also, the UVI scholarship, as I said, is available, and so the government of St. Kitts and Nevis invites graduates of the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, CFBC, as well as the Nevis Sixth Form College to apply for the UVI scholarships. Persons who may have graduated years ago are certainly welcome to apply. Scholarships are only available to graduates who are interested in undertaking studies at UVI for a maximum of 4 years. So this one is specific to the University of the Virgin Islands. And you will need the following documents, and they need to be submitted to the Ministry of Human Resources once again. One original and 2 copies of your completed application form, 1 original and 2 certified copies of the birth certificate. And for those who may wonder where you get your copies certified, you bring them to the Department of Education and we get them certified for you so that you can take them down to the Ministry of Human Resources. 1 original and 2 certified copies of your high school certificates of qualification, 1 original and 2 certified copies of the college certificates of qualification, and 1 original and 2 certified copies of the university acceptance letter. So for those who are thinking about it still and you haven't applied yet, you will run out of time if you start applying to the university in March. So this is the time, now is the time to take the steps. Application forms are also available at the Ministry of Human Resources at the Social Security Building, 2nd floor, Penny's Estate. And you know who to contact if you need help on Nevis, Mrs. Jones Liebert or Mrs. Gill. If you're in St. Kitts, you should contact Miss Jamila Adams. Dr. Eustace Esdale, he's the professor of accounting in the School of Business at the UVI, and he is willing to and able to provide support for you if you need some help navigating the application process. You can reach him at 664-7166 or email him sknrecruits@uvi.edu. Very helpful. Dr. Esdale is very helpful, and he'll do as much as possible to help you to navigate that process. So if you have questions, you have a local number, a local contact at UVI who can help you. That is, I think, is a big perk, and so you can get all of your questions answered accordingly. We also have another big one that just came out, the Taiwan MOFA and ICDF scholarships 2023. We know that the Taiwanese scholarships are very popular. They cover many things, and so the call for those scholarships has been made. The Nevis Island Administration, Ministry of Human Resources, has received the call for the Taiwan MOFA and ICDF scholarships 2023. Interested persons are encouraged to exploit the opportunities made available to pursue undergraduate and graduate studies. So this is for those who are in 6th form, those and about to graduate. This is for those who graduated last year. This is for those who graduated 5 years ago. This is for those who graduated 10 years ago and you haven't pursued further education. This is for those who did their bachelor's degree already and are looking to their master's degree. This is for those who have done their master's degree and are looking to do their doctorate. So this is for everybody who is exploring the potential of further studies. The scholarship benefits include airfare, housing, tuition fees, insurance, textbooks, and a monthly allowance. Let me go again. Airfare, housing, tuition fees, insurance, because you know you're in a different country. When I went to university, I had insurance, but I had to pay for it, right? Textbooks and monthly allowances. And so think about it. I know it's far, but there's no place that's far now. You have FaceTime, you have WhatsApp video calls, you have all of the resources. Zoom, you have so many ways that you can still see your family even when you're far away. And so many persons have done it, and I know you can too. Listeners, it's always better. Take it from somebody who has experienced it. If I had to relive my life, I loved my school that I attended. I loved all of those things, but the financial benefit, the cost associated with it was astronomically high. And if I had to do it again, I would pursue one of these scholarships. I would go wherever, right? Just to make sure that the expenses that you have to pay when you have 10 and 15 years worth of loans after, it's very difficult, it's very challenging. So we're encouraging you to apply, to at least consider it. The general guidelines, you must apply to your preferred university as well as to the Taiwan Embassy in St. Kitts. The university will present a permission slip which must be included with the embassy's application. Each applicant can only apply for one program. You can only apply for, because there are two scholarships. I know we just generally say the Taiwanese scholarship, but there are two scholarships. There's an ICDF and there's a MOFA. So there are two scholarships. You can only apply for one. Individuals can only apply to one university, and the application must be emailed to that university. It is vital to be mindful of the deadlines set by each university. Applicants are advised to complete a medical test after their application has been approved. Along with the completed application form, there must also be an original passport and education certificate, as well as 2 copies of all documents. Copies must be clear, easily read, and precise, not cut off. Okay, and there are procedures and guidelines, and it is strongly recommended that applicants have a minimum of a 3.5 GPA. So when persons are giving scholarships, they want to make sure that you are able to maintain your grades, and so it's encouraged. If you have a 3.5 GPA, it gives you an extra boost. However, if you fell a little short, I'm sure that you can still try, but know that it's strongly encouraged that you have a minimum of a 3.5 GPA. The completed application forms must be submitted to the Ministry of Human Resources. There are 2 deadlines, and those deadlines are in February. That's tomorrow as well. So February 16th, Thursday, February 16th, the ICDF scholarship application is due, and February 22nd, the MOFA scholarship application is due. Other notifications will specify later deadlines. However, these dates are for the applications to be received by the embassy and not Human Resources. So Human Resources has to get them first and then pass them along, and so Human Resources can't go past the deadlines stated above in order to ensure that you get the information needed. There is an application link for the ICDF, there's one for the MOFA, and the contact persons for the scholarships. We know Mrs. Gill and Mrs. Jones Liebert, as per usual, right here in Nevis. We also have Mrs. Carol Boddy in St. Kitts at the Ministry of Education, and we have Mr. Damien I-Ching Liu, and he represents the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan. So there are some documents that you would need to get. Please make sure that you get them. Reach out to the ladies at Ministry of Human Resources. Wonderful ladies. They will guide you through, they will help you, they will support you, they will ensure that you're successful if you make sure that you do your part. We cannot expect to go to them on Friday, on Wednesday 15th for the Thursday 16th February, and that they can work a miracle. So you have to contact them now. First thing Monday, contact them, and they will guide you through. They will provide you the support and ensure that you are able to navigate this part of the process. So those are the opportunities, the scholarship opportunities available, and we are going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. happening. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Bond Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Bond Radio. We have shared some exciting news, some exciting opportunities for scholarships. So now we're going to transition into some other exciting news now in the area of sports. And so, oh no, sorry, I'm preempting. This week, before we get to sports, this week we have a few activities happening in the general youth population for students or school leavers. There are some opportunities externally hosted, but we are encouraging our students to be present. We have the Nevis Youth Careers Expo happening on Wednesday. It's happening Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There will be, or it's anticipated that there will be 50 plus career opportunities available. Over 200 students, that's the hope, and all at one venue. And the call goes out to 5th and 6th formers, and it says your future is within your reach. The theme: Ask, Assess, Achieve. Nice version 2 or the edition 2, and this is being hosted, as I said, by the Nevis Youth Careers Expo group. The contact person on island is Honorable Janelle Nisbet, and the contact number 665-8558, or you can send an email to Nevis Youth Careers Expo at gmail.com. And so we're encouraging you. I didn't say the venue, so let me say that. On Wednesday from 9 to 1 at the Nevis Cultural Village. So that is specifically for our school leavers. This is the second edition. Last year the first edition was hosted, and it is the hope that we will see it growing, and that the career fairs, the career opportunities will be attractive. It gives businesses an opportunity also to have conversations with students. Also, the call has gone out for the Youth Impact 12 nominations for February and March. February, the call is for a youth in technology, and in March, the call is for sports excellence. So youth in technology, and the nomination deadline for a young person who has contributed to technology. The nomination deadline is January 27th, and then the March nomination deadline for a youth in sports, one who has exhibited sports excellence. That nomination deadline is February 24th, 2023. You can visit the Department of Youth's office to collect a form and to nominate that outstanding youth today. So we are looking forward to hearing who these young people are, and we want to continue to commend the Department of Youth for the initiative and for taking the opportunity to highlight our young people. February, Youth in Technology, deadline January 27th, 2023. March, Youth in Sports Excellence, and deadline is February 24th, 2023. All right, so I can now go through the upcoming sports calendar. It was released this week, so I'm kind of fresh off the press. Well, as fresh as possible off the press. The sports calendar for 2023 is now available and is in circulation. So we have our first meet, and the first meet is part of the anniversary celebrations for the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School. In fact, EPPS is celebrating their 15th anniversary this week. 15 years of contributing to not only the community of St. John's, or the parish of St. John's, but to the entire island of Nevis. So EPPS, congratulations. As we speak this morning, they will be having their church service at the Gingerland Seventh-day Adventist Church today. That's the activity happening today. And so they're preparing for that, and then they will have some other activities, a community outreach, Yellow Day and Pep Rally, the annual Relay Festival, as I said, forms part of that activity, and then there will be an anniversary barbecue, and there will be a beautification of the school grounds. They'll have a day for that as they celebrate 15 years of contribution to the community. And for those who attended the school, know that the school is also reaching out, and they're asking for a donation of no less than $20, which will go towards hosting the activity, and that can be delivered to the school during anniversary month. And of course, if you want to contribute more to your school, that's fine. I'm sure that Mrs. Liebert and her team would greatly appreciate that as well. So congratulations to the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School on celebrating 15 years of excellence, 15 years of service to the community, to the island of Nevis. Forward ever, backward never. That's their school's motto. And so, as part of the anniversary month celebrations is the annual anniversary relay activity, and the school started this activity a few years ago, and I think it has evolved greatly. And so this year the activity takes place on Sunday, January 22nd, 2023 at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, starting at 1:30 p.m. and they're encouraging you to come and see all of the schools. All of the primary and secondary schools on Nevis will be there. All of the primary and secondary schools on Nevis will be there. So I know that that promises to be an action-packed day. All primary and secondary schools will be there. That is the plan, and I'm hoping that they're able to participate. And so we encourage you for just a mere $10 for adults, $5 for children. Save the date, and it will be great. And the sponsor for this activity, we cannot continue the conversation without acknowledging the sponsor. The sponsor is A1 Farms, and so to Mr. Tross and Mrs. Tross and the entire A1 Farms team, thank you on behalf of EPPS for sponsoring this activity annually. This A1 Farms came forward many years ago, and so thank you to A1 Farms for continuing this sponsorship and this investment into track and field, into the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, and into all of our students here on Nevis. Remember, I said that all primary and secondary schools are expected to be there, and I'm hoping that they're able to do so. So that is the EPPS Relay Festival, the annual Relay Festival, happening on January 22nd, 1:30 p.m. near the Nevis Athletic Stadium, better known as the Mondo Track. That's popularly known as Mondo Track, but Nevis Athletic Stadium. And I know Nevisians, whenever there's a meet, whether the meet is in St. Kitts, sometimes when I go to St. Kitts for a meet and I look around, the only people I see are Nevisians. As long as it comes to track and field, there is tremendous support, and as long as our athletes are there, they don't even sometimes the participants are not connected or affiliated with any particular school competing, but as long as divisions are down there, you can guarantee that you will have a good division presence. So I'm expecting to see a lot of persons at the Nevis Athletics Stadium supporting the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School. Also coming up very shortly, right after the following week, exactly 1 week after the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School's Relay Festival, we will see the Giant Malt Relay Championships. This one is for secondary schools, so it's 1 week later. We have that activity happening, and it is a relay championship and cheerleading competition, and this one is happening in St. Kitts. It's at 2 p.m. at the Kim Collins Stadium on Sunday 29th January 2023, and the costs: the covered stands $40, the metal stands $20, general admissions $10, and children, your tickets are $5. So once again, covered stands $40, metal stands $20, and then for the general admissions there are two prices. So I'm thinking the covered stands and metal stands, those prices are standard for both adults and children, but then the general admission prices are $10 and $5. $10 for adults, $5 for children. We should have representation there from our high schools here on Nevis. I know that as I said, some persons will be there present, making sure that they are supporting the activity. So let's look at the full, or we'll start looking at the full calendar of activities for the sports meets, the schedule for the sports meets 2023. Our first school meet, so we have the Relay Festival for EPPS, which is the first meet, and then the first school level meet is on January 27th, and it is the meet hosted by the Maud Smith Preschool. I was asked whether preschools will be doing sports meets this year, and the calendar states and has the dates for the preschools as well as the primary schools. So January 27th, Maud Smith Preschool. February 5th, the Charlestown Secondary School. February 16th, Gingerland Secondary School. February 22nd, Charlestown Primary School. February 23rd, Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School. February 28th, Nevis Academy. March 2nd, Joycelyn Library Primary. March 3rd, Ivor Walters Primary. March 7th, St. James Primary. March 8th, St. Thomas's Primary. March 9th, VNJ's Preschool. March 10th, we'll see VOJN Primary, Gingerland Pre, and Montessori Academy. March 11th, March 11th to 12th, we are going to see, coming back from a hiatus of 2 years, this was the last meet, just a bit of quick history, not long ago history, recent enough history. The last meet, the last Nevis High School Championship, closed out the athletic season in 2020 because we got hit by COVID, and so we didn't get into the primary school meet. So the last meet that we had, which was the weekend before we went into lockdown, was the Nevis High School Championship. So there has been a 2-year hiatus, of course, during our lockdown period, but we're excited to see the Nevis High School Championship coming back, and that one is hosted by, it's a collaboration between the Department of Sports and Education, and so that's back on the calendar for March 11th and 12th. On March 14th, we see the Cicely Brown Integrated School having their meet. March 16th, Maud Cross Prep. March 17th, Ines France Preschool. March 20th, Vern and Lou Preschool. March 21st, St. John's Preschool. March 23rd, Combermere Preschool. March 28th, Charlestown Preschool, and April 5th, the Nevis Primary Schools Championship, affectionately known as Interprimary. So those are the dates on the calendar for this track and field season, and that's a heads up, and some persons have asked about the relay championship that was held in St. Kitts last year. The relay championship, the primary school relay championship that was held in St. Kitts last year, where we saw all 4 of our schools competing, and Charleston Primary was able to win that inaugural meet. That one will be happening in May. I think it's the first week of May, so I'll be able to give you that date later on. It actually happened that time last year, but because we had delayed inter-primary, so everything else fell a little back. But yes, it's happening. It's on ultimately it's on the plan, but that is not one hosted by us here in Nevis, so it's not on the calendar that we circulated. That would come out from the SKN Athletics group association at a later date. We'll take a short break and then we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am ZAHNELA CLAXTON from the Department of Education, and we have been sharing lots of information with you because we know that, as I said, it's an action-packed term. It's an actual action-packed 2023. It promises to be an action-packed 2023, and so we wanted to set your calendars. We know that some persons make it their business to take off certain days and take their vacation around certain sports meets and certain activities. I do not have the particulars, the individual school particulars for the meets, so for their in-house activities such as the cross countries and those activities. I will try to have those to share with you next week so that you can have a general idea of what's happening there. And we wanted to make sure that you had the information as early as possible, so we have those dates out in circulation, and you can find them pretty much. I saw them on many persons' WhatsApp status updates yesterday, our Facebook page, and so they are there. We will provide an update. This is just to save the date so that you would have the dates. We will provide an update later on to provide you with the start times and the venues. So we have the dates currently. We will provide an updated schedule later, which would demonstrate, or which would show the start times and the venues, so that you will be more prepared to go forward. That's something that we are trying to do. We're trying to make sure that we provide information early so that persons can plan, persons can prepare, persons can be able to support, parents can support, guardians can support. And you know, I love to say this term we see the greatest level of support, but I want you to know also, parents, pay close attention to your calendars. Quite a few schools have open week between this week coming up and the following week as well, where we're encouraging you to come in to see what your child is doing in the classroom. We haven't had open week for a long time, once again because of the restrictions. At one point we were not able to even have parents on the compound, and so we're asking you to participate in open week, to show up, to sit in on some classes, to listen in, to see what's happening in the classrooms, to give your input, to provide support to your student, and of course the teachers, and to help our children to see that we are in this together. Sometimes in our students' minds, there are two lives that they live. They live their home life and they live their school life. So they actually live double lives. And in their home lives, you see one child, and in the school life, you see another child. And so we want children to see that all of us are in this together, and it's not the school versus the parent. It is the parent and the school working towards the student's success. So please, I encourage you to attend those open week sessions. Designate one day. You see how excited we all were with the sports calendar, and we know that I think we have the highest turnout for PTAs during term 2, because everybody wants to know when the cross country relay is going to be, when the cross country meet is going to be, so that they can take off from work to do that. And we're encouraging you to attend your open week activities. We're encouraging you to attend the parent teacher conference activities as well. Our high schools have been having parent-teacher meetings so that you can get a sense of what's happening with your student in the classroom as well. And so any of these types of parent engagement activities, we encourage you to exhibit the same level of enthusiasm. The important thing this term is balance. I will tell you over and over again, this is the conversation that I have with leaders, the conversation that I have with teachers, the conversation that I have with students, and the conversation that I have with parents. Balance. You can't throw academics out of the window during term 2 because you think that it's called sports term. It's a term in which we have the track and field season. But at the end of the day, if our children are not having that balance, they will still move on with gaps that we could have avoided. So we want you to know that we have asked schools to provide that balance. We have cordoned off a certain portion of the day where we want to make sure that we're focused on having the academic activities happening and then balancing it out with the athletic activities. All right, so as I said, I know we get excited, and some of us will pull our children every day to go to every sports meet. I want to discourage that. If you can wait until school ends and then take your student, because you will still have enough time. By the time school ends, you'll have enough time. There will be some schools that will be able to take their students to the meets, various meets, to support their colleague students across the system, and they will map that out based on trying to provide that balance. We want well-rounded students, and I firmly believe, I will say this passionately, I firmly believe that our athletes need to be exposed to that level of balance now, so that they can become successful student athletes in the future. Some of them want college scholarships and all of those things, and we don't want to take away that opportunity now by not teaching them how to be balanced and how to maintain that level of balance. So parents, as I said, you're an integral part of this conversation. You're an integral part of setting the expectations, of allowing students to see that it's not solely about the track and field, but that you expect them to do their homework, you expect them to finish their projects, you expect them to do what they're supposed to do, even if they have to train, map out a schedule internally, because we all want our students to succeed. I don't necessarily subscribe to some of the comments like, oh, they're academically inclined and they're athletically inclined, because I've seen students personally outside of Nevis who are not the strongest academically, but they make it through, straight through to college, get their degrees, I had students that I taught when I was in Texas, and one of them actually last year graduated with her master's, and I haven't left that long. I've only been back here a little over 9 years, and she was in middle school then. I think she was in maybe second form or so then, and she's already finished with her master's, and she was one of the athletes, and she went through and she was able to do that. Maybe not necessarily the strongest academically, but the balance was there, the expectation was there, and we want our students to be able to, if they choose to, we don't want to take away that option. If they choose to pursue a college scholarship, we don't want it to be a case where they don't have the minimum requirements. And parents, while we try to push that at the school level, we want you to support at the home level so that they can get that balance. And the other end is true as well. We have our students who are very strong academically and who may not be strong athletes, but we're encouraging them to remain active and to participate in the various activities as much as possible to support their other colleague classmates and schoolmates in the pursuits, the athletic pursuits as well, and being part of the school community during this time. So I don't think it's one or the other. I think that it's a matter of providing the balance, and creating that balance and teaching children the importance of being balanced. As we get close to the end, I cannot end during this term also without reminding parents that term 2 is athletic season, track and field season, sports season, it's academic season, and it's often flu season. So our highest numbers of absences and incidences of flu have always occurred between January and February. We're reminding you that if your child is sick, kindly have them remain at home. We do not want any spreading of the flu virus. We do not want to have our staff members getting sick because our child brought something to school. If you notice that your child has a fever, if you notice that your child is sick, please keep them home until that is rectified, until they get better, so that they themselves, because lots of times with the flu, the children need the rest. And having them going back and forth with that prolongs the flu as well. But please note that school leaders are aware that if children come to school sick, we have to send them home, because we do not want outbreaks. We do not want all of our children to be getting sick, our teachers to be getting sick, our staff members to be getting sick. So that's just a gentle reminder to our parents. It is time for you to also remind them. I think we learned a lot during COVID, and the time that we had during lockdown, we learned about the importance of hygiene, proper hygiene. So remind them to wash their hands, remind them to wipe their surfaces, remind them to, if they have to blow their nose, that they do so in a disposable napkin and throw it away and then wash their hands again. Remind them if they have to sneeze, that they do so in their elbow and not in the palm of their hands, because they would touch surfaces with the palms of their hands. And so those are the lessons that we learned, that our children, those things were part of our children for 2 whole long years, and it takes 21 days to build a habit. And I don't think that we should erase them now. We should make sure that we are very cautious. I want to commend, in some institutions, I see persons wearing their masks. Sometimes it's because they feel they have a little sniffle themselves, and they want to protect the persons around them. And so those are the things that we have to be mindful of between January and February. As I said, usually we always see a spike in absences. Our staff members are sick, our students are sick, and then we won't be able to protect the instructional time like we want to. We won't be able to support our students academically like we want to. So please, we encourage you to be vigilant. Once again, if you want access to any of the information that I've shared this morning, most of it is available on Facebook, or if you can make contact with our department, you can call the Department of Education for more information on anything that we've shared. If it's a scholarship related question, the contact is the Ministry of Human Resources. If it's related to the Nevis Youth Careers Expo, the contact is Honorable Janelle Nisbet. If it's related to the Department of Youth's Impact 12, then the contact is the Department of Youth. And before I go, I have to say good morning and happy birthday to KJ Kelvin Liber Jr. Special happy birthday greetings from your grandma, Jennifer, of course, and your Auntie Kelsey, Keranje, your brother, and Kelvin, your dad. So KJ, have a great day.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. And now it passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio. It's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Introducing revolutionized big man shenanigans. Badness? Yeah, that. Imagine we did a cruise and them a say we bad. Them don't even know yet. Make we teach them.